everybody, welcome back to Angry Badger Minis. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe, and do all that kind of stuff. We were working on Space Hulk stuff because one, it needs to be put together or put back together, and then two, it's breaking up the monotony a little bit of putting models together while I wait to get more shelves so I have a place to put them. Just to give you guys some idea of what's been going on, I just need to get this stuff out of here real quick. Really happy with what's going on, the process of this whole thing, and what we've been able to achieve. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about expectations and realism. Really, things that you should, or reality, not realism, what am I saying? Things that you should consider whenever you're doing any kind of, terrain build or what have you. One thing that I think, and again, this is my opinion, you're obviously entitled to your own, but one thing that we see a lot of is a standard, if you will, of, say for instance Games Workshop or something like that, Warhammer World Pictures or something like that. And while those are amazing dioramas, and of course they have unlimited resources and assets to do that, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the actual build itself and the end result. For instance, if you look at some Warhammer World Pictures, for instance, sorry, I'm just cleaning up these Legos so I can get them off my desk and have more area to work in. You look at Warhammer World, for instance, with those dioramas and whatnot, one thing that always sticks out to me is, unless it's an actual area that has been bombarded, collapsed or what have you, everything else is pretty much in pristine condition. And that's nothing against the designers or the modelers or whatever. I mean, hell, they may be, modeling just the opening salvos of the attack. But what I'm getting at is, like, when you're doing something, consider, not just, for instance, rubble that's gathering around an edge of a building or something like that. Consider, how long that battle has been going on, how long that area has been fought over, what condition it has been in, or has, things it's been subjected to. And that's where my Space Hulk becomes relevant here, and I'm going to show you here in a second. Just like I said, I just want to clean up my area a little bit. But while I'm getting this done as fast as I can, what I mean by this is, let's think about a Space Hulk, for instance. Okay, it's been floating out there for thousands of years, and tens of thousands of years. If it went through the warp, well, as we all know, time has no bearing in the warp. So there's, it's subjected to whatever malevolent forces are out there, or in there, whatever, however we want to look at that, in or out, or out there. And so you'd have to consider what it's like when you got in there. Even in one of my favorite games, Space Hulk Deathwing, there is a lot. Yes, the way they made everything, it's really beautiful in there. It's really aesthetically beautiful. It really captures the gothic feel, real nice and everything. But there are way too many places, in my opinion, that things just look too intact. Now, it's not all of it. Like for instance, I'm trying to think what that battle, I think it's like the last battle or something like that. That cathedral or whatever. I don't believe there's much in there that's really collapsed or whatever. that being said, I'm almost done here. Just bear with me, because I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. When you're doing your project, you really need to think about that. And I mean, unless you're somebody that just doesn't really care, you just want something to play on, and you're, you know, by all means do your thing. But for me, or someone like me, I don't have anybody to play with, as I've said a million times, you know, except for maybe my wife on occasion, which really hasn't happened in years because having kids and, you know, babies and things like that. Got other things that are more important, and you know, it's a little bit of a stretch to get her to play because it's not her thing, and I respect that. She plays to make me happy, basically. But okay, I think we're good. But as I was putting this thing together, let me move these molds out of the way real quick. I'm gonna explain that whole thing there too. As I was putting this stuff together, you know, I was getting really, I really forgot what it was that I was trying to achieve. And really it was about, you know, as authentic of a derelict space hulk or spaceship or whatever that I could achieve, okay, with the limited resources that I had available to me. And again, for those of you new to the channel, this board has been built and rebuilt since 2006. I believe 7 or 8 times. I forget exactly how many. Sorry, I made a mold of all these Sector Mechanicum pieces because I think I'm going to use these. Things like this, which is pretty cool. They'll need to be washed though. I really sprayed them down with mold release because I really didn't want anything sticking to them and have to fish all that out and ruin the little details. But anyway, where I ran into an issue was, or what I was looking at, and is when I had my gosh, man, I just cannot get to a point where I want to keep my train of thought and talking. Alright, when I had my corridor set up over here, and I was trying to get them lined up, it occurred, whether it's wear and tear over the, you know, years. I mean, again, I've had this board for over a decade. You know, whether it's wear and tear as far as that's concerned, or just, you know, things settling over time, or degradation of things, I don't know. What ended up happening was I could not get, do I even have those two here? Oh. Yes. Here you go. Hold on a second. Come on. I could not get, this is the one. I couldn't get them to line up correctly with the tops, because, and it may be the way that I just did some reconfiguring here. I'm just throwing this together at the moment. But if I line up the bottoms, okay, like if we look down at this edge right here at the bottom, and these are lined up, you'll notice that up here they are not aligned. And it was driving me crazy all day. And then because of this pipe right here, which sticks out further from the wall than anything else, when I went to actually put one of these on, let me see if I can grab another one. When I went to put this on, even if I made the concession of, we'll say, you guys should be able to see that on camera, of 2 holes width of the what you call it, the crochet stuff, I still could not get things to line up the way that I wanted them to up top, because I could line this up, and part of it's probably, like I said, just over time, things shifting, whatever. I could get this stuff lined up at the bottom, you know, but as you can see up here, we're not aligned at all. Now, the question to you is, does it really matter? To me, the answer is no, now that I've had time to think about it, because it's a derelict spacecraft. It's many spacecraft that have, you know, combined and crashed into one another and warped things and blah blah blah. So that being said, what it did was it freed my mind, if you will, so that when I take a look at, for instance, you know, this piece right here, okay, putting this together, and you see that gap right there. So besides the fact this will be dark, and you know, mostly dark, we'll say, or at least that's the plan. Who knows what my mind might do? It might change my mind. But regardless, there's nothing to say that the hallway or the corridor has to be perfect. I mean, what's to say that, I mean, I'm not going to do it because I want the models to lay flat, but if you had something look like that, you know what I'm saying, because the floor was twisted or something happened, you know, struck it from underneath, you know, whatever. And I knew this, but it was still frustrating the heck out of me. So I started working on, I wanted, you know, I've gotten a lot of these done, and coincidentally I need a lot of these these plates, if you will. We've got a box over here. I'm just making them, stack them, and then I gotta cut stuff. And the great thing about cutting off all the little pieces is I've got plenty of, you know, rubble, if you will, for scatter terrain and that kind of stuff later, for, you know, crush sections or things like that. So anyway, we got this, and I decided, you know, okay, well, I want to make one T section, you know, which is the doorway, get it done, and I wanted to get a single room done, and get one of these done, you know, one of these corridor sections done, so I know how it's all going to play out. Let me just put that there, and I'll put these back. And that's where I really ran into some, not issues, but revelation or epiphany. Actually, got so much crap going on right now. School's starting again tomorrow. The epiphany that I had was about all of that. So when I got to this is one of the rooms, and as you can see, I have taken everything off, all the stuff. I don't believe you guys got a chance to see this. Maybe you did, I don't know, before I went crazy taking things off. There was some, hold on, let me see here. We got this, and I think that's pretty much it. Thought there was one more crazy glue tube. Oh yeah, I did show you guys this. I know I did. It was in the last video. Oh, there it is. There's the other crazy glue tube, and then we had this wall piece, some kind of circuit board, something. Anyway, ripped all this stuff out because most of it was sitting on the old floor, which is underneath all of this. Oh, that reminds me, I'm going to be using that for a new control panel for the doors. So I've got to make a cast of this so I can have it on each side of the doors. Anyway, and in the process of putting...
Midwest Auto. How's it going?
Good, brother. Good. Just trying to work on this Space Hulk board. Getting all the parts and stuff done. But as I was saying, how are you, by the way? As I started trying to put this together, you know, I couldn't get a perfect fit. And if you can tell, let's see, yeah, you guys can see that. Right there, whoops, right there you can see the floor looks a little raised. And right here as well. But that's okay, because again, it's a Space Hulk. It's you know, again, derelict ship. It's been pounded by asteroids, slammed into by other ships, warped. The warp has warped it, you know, whatever.
Nice, I've been painting all day and only have 5 guys done to show for it.
That's alright. It doesn't matter. You got more painted done than I do. I haven't painted in, well, hell, probably, Well, I haven't painted since I started this channel, to be honest with you, not one thing. I've been doing nothing but construction. And then, of course, you know, tearing things apart and rebuilding them like I'm doing right here. So nothing wrong with that. But, you know, the floor was the biggest thing. And then I have these Sector Mechanicum pieces. I have some more. I just don't want to get stupid with them. That I thought about, instead of all the random pieces that I had, I could line the walls of the rooms with this. See what you guys think, and then maybe add some other stuff to even try to break that up. You know, like this thing that hangs. I don't even know what this is that hangs over. I think it's from like I don't know, a VHS recorder or something. I still want to put this. I don't know if you would call this a solenoid or what you would call this. I'm not really sure, but anyway, I still want to, you know, re-include or reincorporate this in here, because this was actually one of the main objective pieces that we used. But the great thing is, or where I'm going with all this is, don't be so critical. And this is the pot calling the kettle black here, because I'm horrible at this. Don't get so wrapped around the axle in a project like this that it keeps you from having fun with it, or keeps you from completing it. Because you have to remember, you're working with what you have, and in a lot of ways, depending upon how you paint it, and you know, and how you add things to it or whatever. Man, I wish I could just hold that in place. I know I got some yellow tack around here somewhere. I just don't feel like doing it at the moment. Let's see here. You know, however you choose to do that, you know, you can dress things up and get, you know, and cover up a lot of that crap. You know, there's nothing to say, you know, that you don't sprinkle dirt or, you know, whatever in here. Why? Because if there was any type, you know, as we know, at least from the 40K hobby, if there was any kind of cathedral statues or anything like that that crumbled or whatever, any kind of, you know, masonry work, you know, whatever, you know, that, you know, there's nothing wrong with having that on there. I even toyed with the idea of taking these same panels and putting them on the wall, but I figured that'd be overkill. But my mind was thinking, well, what if it was, you know, zero gravity and they don't know, you know, they're just coming in, and, you know, maybe you make the room in such a way that, you know, the floor is not what they're walking on, it's actually on a wall or something. But I was like, well, besides me being the only one who would know that, like my wife, if she was playing with, she wouldn't get that at all. She'd be like, why do you have a checkerboard, you know, wall or whatever? More than likely. But anyway, so that's what we've been working on, really just making more. I mean, I have a ton of these things I gotta make. My wife, however, came up with a brilliant idea that I thought about it, not the way that she did it, because I don't want to take any credit from her. But what had happened is, if you guys remember, I was, from last episode, I was screwing around with this whole deal, and you know how it would be, you know, sitting here, and then how I could put one up here, okay, just to, you know, give it some three-dimensional feel, whatever. And while I was satisfied with the whole angle part instead of flat or straight up and down again, just like that, I wasn't satisfied with the fact that it was the same, you know, thing, or same configuration. And I know that I took the two pieces and I went like this and tried to change them around, and for some reason I didn't like it or something, I don't know, down here, and that's where I left it. Well, my wife, you know, I had her look at it, you know, and everything, and she did. And the first thing she came up with was that alternate configuration for putting it up here. And man, let me tell you, it was like, you know, the light bulb went off. So we have that, and then we would have this one. So you've got two different configurations that will work out just great. So what was the next step? The next step, what? Because I mean, if you guys remember from last night, I was gonna just make two of this configuration right here in my right hand, and instead we have one of each. So I got them all prepped and everything, and then I made a mold, which I have not cast one yet, of each. And that is what I'm going to do now. Oh shoot, I just realized something. This is only half of the mold. You know, I wonder how it would, I mean, yeah, we kind of lose that round feel, and I talked about this last night, like how bad would it look if it was just flat, but yeah, dang man, that's only half the mold, or we're gonna have to pour the other half. That means I gotta frickin' put the mold back together. Man. Ugh, liver. I was so excited to show her this, I didn't even think about that. Ah, man, that stinks. Alright, well, at least I was able to show you guys, you know. Let's see if we...
Midwest Auto. Ouch.
Yeah, that's alright. It'll work, I think. I just gotta get it in there. Everything should work just fine. Man. Ah, the joys of hobbying. Because I was sitting there looking at this Aquila here, and I'm like, I don't see one in there. And sure enough, there you go. Well, that's alright. It'll be, once I get it done, it'll be ready by the morning. Ready to pour. I got plenty of these, you know, these that I need to pour anyway. Let's make sure we get that down in there as best we can. I want to fill up our thing. And man, I can't believe it did that. I mean, I can believe it, but it sucks. And I just got through putting all those Legos away. Let's see here. This will give you guys you know, another dry run at what you call it, tutorial on putting molds together using Legos. Okay, I've got so much to do, man. I still got it. I don't know how I got distracted and started doing this one when I've got rhinos to do and everything else. But the good thing is I don't have to use any clay on this side. I just need to pour, well, spray it down and then pour. It's always something, man. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love this hobby, or hobbying. Never knew I'd be this involved in it, but I love making things with my hands. Normally I don't put the, when I do the other side, I normally just pull the stuff off and flip it over, and I don't even bother with it.
Mechanical Frog. Hey buddy.
Hey brother, how's it going? Glad this thing's working, because you're the first, maybe the, yeah, I think you might be the first person from YouTube that's contacted me that's worked on the restream
Mechanical
thing.
Frog. What are we working on today?
Well, right now I'm trying to unscrew a problem I made. I'm working on a mold for Space Hulk stuff, my Space Hulk board here, trying to repair that and redo it with some more detailed stuff. And this right here, I'm about to, because I screwed up, I'm going to be making, I pulled everything
Mechanical
out.
Frog. Just enjoying some post-video editing euphoria.
Oh, Well, I'm not that high speed. I don't know how to do all that stuff much. I mean, you guys saw the one video I did and people liked it, but that's a question I have for you guys. Do you prefer, you know, this kind of interaction here, or do you prefer, you know, pre-recorded videos that are edited and stuff? What do you guys think on that? Call it an unofficial poll. But yeah, I got some pipes here that I made. And
Mechanical frog. I actually like a mix.
I gotcha. Well, maybe one day I'll have enough time to sit down and start doing edited videos again. Right now,
Mechanical
a
frog.
little hard.
It's nice to watch edited content, and it's great to have the interaction of a stream.
Why do you like the edited content so much? Or, I mean, what makes you like the edited content? I like the interaction for sure. Looks like we got a little bit of some build up here.
Mechanical frog. Usually shorter, more to the point videos.
I gotcha. I thought that might be your answer. Some of the videos though, I mean, I realize, you know, people like that and all, but one of the things for me is some of the videos are so short, or the way that they skip through everything that they've done in their editing, I have to keep going back and pausing and rewinding and whatever, and I'm just like, this is annoying. But, you know, each to their own. You know what? Screw that. I don't know why I'm sitting here fighting that. Three. All right. Man, it sure is a shame that I'm gonna pour that just for this when I really want to make a cast of this, wouldn't mind making a cast of that. This one might be a little too, that might be a two-part cast, but I don't think I really need it. Nah, I got fans all over this place. Maybe these. And these are all going to be flat casts, so let me move this out of the way since we don't need it right now. Let me sit this over here for the moment. Pull out some more Lego, see if we can't come up with something else here. Because we won't need it to be that thick. Forgot about this. Got all this clay here from the pipes that I did. It's amazing. I've had this clay for, you know, what, 8 years? Just never dries or goes bad. It's awesome. Of course, I've been a lot more rough on it these, you know, since I started the YouTube video and casting and stuff. What am I doing? I need this. God. Don't get old, guys. Don't get old. Oh my gosh. I'm an idiot. It's already on there. Might as well just freaking build around. I don't know why I just took this apart. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. There's no reason to do that. I could have just worked with what I had. Dang it. Late, man. That's my excuse. It's late.
Mechanical Frog. I made my son a PB&J sandwich for dinner tonight, and proceeded to put it into a Ziploc bag as if it was for his school lunch.
I hear you.
Mechanical Frog. He walks in, and asks me why I'm bagging it up.
Say, I'm gonna teach you, son, the appreciation of fasting.
Mechanical Frog. So, I know old.
I hear you, man. Yeah, I haven't been sleeping very well, and it is what it is. Although on a positive note, found out today that even though it's not on the syllabus for school, I got an A- in my English class for Western Literature college when I thought I was going to walk out of there with a B+. So can't really complain anymore like I was doing. I was bitching up a storm too, man. Because I knew that I was like probably one of the only people in that class that did all the stinking work with all the emails we got saying, you know, you guys need to do your work, you know, we got to turn these assignments in, you're losing points. You know.
Mechanical Frog. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been out of school, what, almost 30 years, I guess. And it's going to be challenging, no doubt, but I know I can do it. And even though I've only got 2 courses under my belt, basically, I've got a 3.83 average. So, if I can walk out of university with an A, I'll be happy. If I can walk out with honors, which is what I'm actually trying for, that'll be even better. Graduate with honors or whatever. I know it doesn't really mean anything in the realm of computer science, but, you know, on a resume it might. No telling. I'm just glad Western literature is over with. That was, I hated reading that. Yea, thee, thou, blah, blah, blah. Freaking stupid. Let's see here. Yep, we'll pour this, set this up and pour it, and then we'll be ready in the morning. In the morning, it's probably, what time is it right now? Oh, that's right, daylight savings. Okay, so this is a flat cast. So we just need to, we don't have to worry about being particular here. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to get too much extra on the back side. Again, not that it's going to matter because almost everything's going to be shadowed out anyway. Dude, this hatch, look at this hatch, man. This thing is badass. Man, I love this thing. You guys are like, what the hell? Dude, it's just a hatch. Okay, it's just a hatch. That's because you don't live in my head. And all the things that I think about that I could be doing with that hatch for scenarios and things. Alright, let me think about this one here, because I'd like to get at least one of these in here.
Mechanical Frog. I haven't ever done mold making before, so this is interesting.
Yeah, you know, and there's no way to prove this, obviously, but I had this idea and I did this, and then I think it was trying to. I mean, I've done this for years, but nothing to this extent where I've been constantly making molds. I won't lie, it can be, you know, a little tedious and annoying, but you know, and you find, you know, you figure out your own little tricks to the trade or whatever. Like right here, I've got a gap that I want to make sure doesn't get anything underneath there, because I don't want to have to trim it all up later. So I'll just make, you know, this little sausage roll, if you will, and you don't need much, but just enough that I can slide it in there, and then I'll use like a color shaper or something, you know, to push it around, you know, just to get underneath there so that the smooth on stuff doesn't get in there, the rubber. It's not going to be perfect. Sometimes it still finds its way in, but it's better than having to go to the backside and cut all the way around, and you know, then you got a rough, you know, whatever. Got some kind of, it's probably a damn dog here, to be honest with you. We have 3 dogs of our own, and then we also have a kennel business. So if you happen to hear a dog whining or barking, it's the ones downstairs. But anyway, after I'd been doing it for a while, I started checking out YouTube and things like that, and then lo and behold, man, freaking, here's this guy doing the exact same thing I was. And I mean, that was cool. I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, somebody else had the same idea I did. But then it dawned on me, if I ever, again, you know, if I ever had a YouTube channel or something, you know, would anybody ever believe it, you know, that I came up with it on my own, you know, or whatever. But honestly, it doesn't matter. People will believe whatever they want to believe, and it's just the way it goes, man. And I mean, I got nothing to prove to anybody. And if I could remember who that guy was, I'd tell you, but it was so long ago when I saw it. I have no clue. What I plan on doing with this piece right here is probably not using, oh wait, I'm putting the wrong side down. Holy smokes, that would have been a waste. I'm not real concerned about like these side pieces. What I want the most is this inner portion. So I mean, if I can get it to work, great. If I can't, you know, so be it. But what you need to do is you got to get your mold, whether you're doing a 1-part or a 2-part, doesn't matter. You got to get it pushed down in there some. So that way, let's just say this was a 2-parter. If you don't, then what you end up doing is running the risk of when you pour the second half, it doesn't really have anything to make an indentation on. So I mean, it'll still do it, but it won't be deep enough that when you go ahead and pour, you know, your, you know, whatever resin, plastic, whatever it is that you're using, you're gonna get, you could end up with a flat side whether you wanted it or not, or you'll get runoff and leakage, which sometimes happens anyway, but it's just the way it goes. So like, I can't get this deep enough right now to take care of this little hole right here, and so I'm gonna make this little bit of clay, if you will, stick that in there, and again use my color shaper to stick it down in there, just so we've got a little bit of a buffer from the rubber. And then I'm going to put a little bit around the outside here. Just make sure you're pushing it, you know, up against it. And then if you're doing a 2-part mold, which I just reminded myself because I've forgotten about this, something you're also going to want to do to line things up, especially when you have a big one like this, and I did not do this and I need to do it now, is you need to have keys, okay? So this would kind of work as a key. I was planning on putting a ladder in there. I don't know if you guys, yeah, you can see that. And then I pulled it out. So that can kind of work as a key for lining it up, but it would have helped if I'd have made a couple of holes down here. Trying to do it after the fact is kind of a pain. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to take this stuff, just as you see it, because it's more than likely not going to float on me, and then I'm just going to press it down in there. Actually, I'm going to do this right here to make something, you know, as a key. And then when I spray the mold release agent, you know, this will not come with it, if that makes sense. Now I only need the one because I got this going on here. And that'll make sure that my molds line up like they're supposed to and not be off kilter. I don't need to do that for this one, but for a 2-part, you definitely need to do that. Now I'm going to show you the wrong way of doing things, because I have nowhere I can do this. Alright. Great thing about this mold release here, it's not something that really stinks, if you will, and if I'm not mistaken, this is not toxic. What it does say though is do not freaking smoke while you're doing this. It is flammable. Alright.
Mechanical frog. That's okay. My lungs have a protective layer of clear coat and resin fumes.
Oh, bro, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I just feel like sometimes I'm setting a horrible example on here. I mean, with all the crap that I've breathed in the military and everything else, I don't know. It's pretty bad when you go to your final physical and they're like, hey, just want to let you know, we classify you guys that were in this area, I'm not going to say where, but in this area as being, same as Vietnam veterans with Agent Orange. And I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, well, don't be surprised if you end up with mesothelioma down the road. And I'm like, that's great. So, yeah. That and racing motocross, gas, oil. I mean, dude, I didn't wear gloves trying to, fix my bike or working on my bike and stuff like that. Dude, you never get anything done. So, alright, that's for pouring, so we don't need that. I mean, for plastic, I need, I don't know how much of this I'm gonna need, but looks like it's gonna be a bit. Let's see here. And I'm saving all these for silo terrain as well. Love these cups, man. It's so easy to measure with. I never go above 4 rings because you run out of room in the cups when you combine the two, part A and part B. Try some of column A, try all of column B. cups over here already. That's alright. They were already cured anyway, for the most part. I better go ahead. I was going to try to just do the one into each other, but I better make a third, because if I don't have enough, I'm going to need to remix. So what are you working on right now, Frog? Or are you still here? I think you said you were working on editing or something.
Mechanical Frog. Finished tomorrow's video. Painting some mummified undead infantry from one-page rules.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I want to play one-page rules sometime. I've briefly scanned over it, but I just didn't have time to really get involved. What's your video on? I think I'm gonna have to pour some more. I hope not. Oop. Didn't quite make it over the top on this one.
Mechanical Frog. Painting process video for one of the one-page rules March models, an Eternal Dynasty Warden.
Nice. Are you doing it for one-page rules or just for yourself or what? Like, is it one of their models? And I apologize if you said that already. My brain is on how much more I need to make here. Looks like I need... Yeah, okay. I'm not looking forward to figuring out the rhino, I won't lie. But I gotta do it. I'm not buying any more GW stuff for a while, and those armies I would probably
Mechanical
never play.
Frog. It's not sponsored or anything like that.
Okay.
I just enjoy their work and enjoy printing/painting them.
Man, I'm gonna have to find a way to, once I get into 3D painting, really, I mean painting, 3D printing, really hit you up, man. Do it right the first time. Cause I really don't want to spend all that kind of money and then turn around and kind of screw it up, you know. know it's about settings and stuff. I've watched a ton of videos from people, but some of the stuff, you know, it seems like they just leave things out, and maybe that's a video you could do, is like a no joke step by step, you know, video. What printer do you have, and like what resolution?
Mechanical Frog. I haven't had to do much tweaking to my Elegoo Saturn out of the box.
I've been trying to find time to sit down with Blender and figure some stuff out, but keep getting pulled away with other things, and then doing this, of course.
Mechanical Frog. Little settings here and there to adjust for resin types. It's a lot less fuss and frustration than the 3D printing with filament.
So you are using resin? I knew I poured too much. Damn it.
Mechanical Frog.
Oh well.
Yes, resin.
It's gonna be a pretty hardy mold, that's for sure. Oh well. Can't always get the measurement right. But I'm done with that. So I'll leave that over there. Let me grab this napkin, clean that up, go set these over here. That's done. Don't have to worry about dealing with those for a while. Alright, we need to pour this. Might as well make a few more of these. And we can try to make this. But I'm already seeing a problem. And that problem is how thin that really is. Not to mention keeping the plastic in there to begin with. I may have to redo that one. I don't know. That looks... I mean, I could try it. I mean, the worst that'll happen is it'll leak onto the mat, and then I'll just peel it right off. It's not a big deal. But I'll get this out of the way. Pouring here. It is accumulated plastic. Just from stirring. That's all it is, just from stirring. Whoa, how the hell did you get in there? I don't have time for this. Well, here goes. We'll see. How much we stand to lose. Boy, I just screwed that up in my rush to beat the oh well, beat the curing process. Yeah, that's all right. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get a couple out of there that'll work, and that'll be fine. Okay, now back to thinking about what we're doing here. Got this broken piece that I screwed up. Got a little too overzealous here, but that's okay. All these pieces like this, I'm keeping them in a box here. The stuff that I cut off, I got more on the floor, so I can use it to make some rubbled sections and stuff. So I'm not too concerned about
Mechanical frog. Battle damage.
Exactly. Exactly. You are not wrong, brother. Not wrong. I just wish... I mean, obviously I'm able to do this quicker than you can 3D printing, but I sometimes wonder, well, I'm sure that you print them cheaper than I cast, I'm sure. Plus you don't have to have molds laying around and stuff, but like I said, I try not to make molds of anything I'm not going to use repeatedly. But we'll see how it works out here. Trying to figure out. Oh, I need to work on that those Chaos Marine molds too. Start printing or casting them as well. I know there's a lot of people out there saying, oh, you shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not selling it. That's the first thing. I'm keeping it for myself. And I have invested so much money into Games Workshop. I think I'll say it, I'm entitled. I don't feel like buying their stuff anymore, especially with the way that they're treating the customers, and you know, the price hikes are just absolute bull. There's no reason for it. Not when you're making 60 million in profit after the fact, after all overhead, you know, and expenses. That's I'm not hating on them for making their money. What I'm hating on them is the bullshit lie that they threw out there about how, you know, they have to go up on prices because of, you know, transportation costs, this and that. And I'm not real too keen.
Mechanical Frog. I have no problem with personal use printing / molding. GW shouldn't be selling a 20-year-old sprue for $60.
I agree, and they also shouldn't be doing any of this stuff and working, you know, with, well, never mind, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to get into trouble. Because once I start down that road, I never seem to stop for a while. Let's see here. Seems like oh, that's why, because everything's freaking cattywampus. I was wondering why we couldn't see everything in the picture. Maybe I can move my picture over. Yeah, there we go. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like, you remember that Black Reach box set? Came with like a ton of Space Marines and Orcs and, you know, rule book and everything. You got a ton of models, man, for 60 bucks. Rule book, templates, dice, you name it. And now, I mean, look at that Eldar Chaos set. I don't even know what it's called. 16 models for $200. That's ridiculous. That is just, it's stupid. It's really stupid. And I'm done. I mean, I've got so much stuff anyway I gotta put together. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I haven't heard from another friend of mine on this deal.
Mechanical Frog. I can buy a lot of resin and STL files for $200.
Yeah. Let's see if I can send this to you. This link right here, can you tell me what program this guy is using to identify these colors? I saw this video the other day. I like watching his stuff. He's got a good voice and everything too. Explains things really well. But I'm trying to figure out, he's got some kind of program where he hovers his mouse over a picture and it tells him, like in a circle, like what color it is, or at least gives, maybe not in words, but at least gives the shade, you know, or something like that. If you could check that out real quick, I'd appreciate it while I'm waiting on this nonsense to cure over here. Wish I could do something else at the moment, but I can't. I mean, I can, but I gotta take all this stuff downstairs and line up all the hallways. Excuse me, all the hallways, and then put the floors on.
Mechanical Frog. No, I don't know the program.
Okay. Yeah, he didn't have it in his description, and I can't remember if I asked him what it was or not, but I don't know. I have this program, I think I still have it on my phone. You have to get the files or something. I forget what it's called, but you can basically, like, I have a Primaris Space Marine file in there, and then you can just pick the color and pick the location and get the general idea of what, you know, color you want to use. I'm trying to remember the name of that program, but I can't off the top of my head. Can't believe daylight savings. They probably don't sell this model anymore, But I mean, look at that price tag, bro. 20 bucks. And this Spawn of Chaos model is the only one I own. I've always liked this model. Not even sure why, to be honest with you, but I like it. And I'm telling you, man, I'm probably gonna make a cast of this thing too. Yeah, I no doubt I'm gonna make a cast of this. Can't go wrong on this one. But I mean, 20 bucks for this thing, man. Back when I bought it, what does it say? 1003 Carlsbad Game Cove. That was in California. Yeah, man. Okay, yeah, 2003. When I was stationed out there at Camp Pendleton, first time 5th Marines. Right on, right on. Here you go. Here's a box of all metal Havocs. 25 bucks. Yeah, it's the old sculpts, but I couldn't even tell you what they would charge now. Yeah, it's just not worth it. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to put that, look at, I haven't even opened this box. If I even want to put these Plague Marines together, I've got six boxes of Plague Marine or Death Guard, and then 3 boxes of Death Guard Havocs, all metal. But I've got so many of the new Death Guard, it's ridiculous. Because I bought a ton of those. I bought 12 Dark Imperium box sets. And I still got all those rule books too. I don't even know what to do with them. Maybe I can go through one of them or whatever and cut some artwork out and put it in frames or something. And then I'll feel like the biggest jerk on the planet for ruining a rule book, even though I have multiple copies of it. I've never actually seen this model. I'm gonna open it up. This is now an unboxing video, just saying. Let's see what's in here.
Mechanical Frog. I have a friend who plays Death Guard, so I just gave him everything I picked up over the last few years.
Oh yeah? Alright, so we've got, they gave us a square base for fantasy and a circle base for 40K. And wow, that's a big hand. Give this man a hand. Wait a minute. This is why does this look different? Oh man. What is it, a random blister pack? Doesn't say that on here. This does not look like the cover. Hold on. What the hell? What the hell? Oh, okay, I see now. Man, boy, I was about to... So I'm looking at this, and you can see there's this... Hold on. That looked like the mouth to me. Well, it's not. I was looking for the head, and here's the head that fits in there. That's just, apparently it's like torn flesh or something, or maybe... Yeah, it's just torn flesh, and then that's like the muscle sinew or something where it connects. Yep. I'm definitely making a copy of this bad boy, probably 2 or 3. I remember back in the day, I think it was in '99, I tried to make a mold of a Space Marine. I forget what I was using. I think it was, I don't know what I was using. It was something I got in Japan, because that's where I was, in Okinawa, and it didn't work out. Not even close. Just horrible. Is this done yet? Nope, still soft. I've been working these molds so hard. Well, not that one. Those are. But working these molds so hard, they've been heating up and stuff like that. And I may not have had that mixture completely right. Yeah, that's still kind of soft too. It's the only drawback to doing stuff when it's late at night and you're tired.
Mechanical frog. Are those holes in the big rectangle one?
What here? It's not holes. It's just this is the way that it went. Like, you know, it's just a thin layer, but it's not holes. It's just the way that the mold did it. If I pour deeper, it's gonna run off. So it, but I mean, it's been that way for every one of them. But I mean, there's a, you know, you can see there's a solid, you know, sheet of stuff over here. It's just thinner there because the, you know.
Mechanical frog.
Yeah.
Okay, just thin.
Yep. Yeah, it's, you know, like anything, the liquid's going to find out where it needs to go and level itself out. And I'm sure my desk isn't exactly level either, so that's probably part of it. But it's, again, for this build, it's not that important that I be that accurate because all of this is going to be covered up anyway. But, you know, good looking out. It's not air bubbles. Don't really get air bubbles when I do these open ones like this. I usually only get them on the closed two parts. And then I end up having to make channels and crap. Now we have two more bases. Sector Mechanicum bases. Ugh, I've got an entire collection over here of Sector Mechanicum poker chips because my goal for this Space Hulk.
Mechanical frog. How long was that set?
Maybe 10 minutes, something like that. So, but I've got like all these because my goal for the Space Hulk is to essentially have a where's my, no, I'm getting distracted what I'm trying to say here and sound like a bumbling idiot. Where did I put that? Dude, I just had it. What the heck? Oh. Is to have a 5-man Terminator squad from every well, I say every, you know, from as many chapters as I can. That's the goal. And since I have a ton of these, I mean the real ones, I bought them for my Gene Stealer cult army. And then I was like, well, dude, I mean, once I kind of got good at this, I'm like, I can make these. These are all 40 millimeter. I got to make some 25 millimeters, and I'm going to make that 65 millimeter because I don't have a 50 millimeter. They didn't make one of those. And I don't know that I'll bother even cutting it out because it'll only be for 40K games, not necessarily this Space Hulk thing. And that's fine. I've never been real picky on, you know, if somebody had, you know, the range to my base or not. I mean, I've played with guys like that and it totally turned me off to the game. Not gonna lie. Yeah, so I got plenty of these. I mean, I need more, but it'll keep it. The alternative is this. This is how everything was with the crochet mat versus putting him on, you know, the actual thing that's going to match the board itself. And I mean, it was matching the board because that's all I had on the board, but now I've got this more detailed stuff. And I mean, I don't even know how detailed, you know, I'm going to paint it, but it gives it a little bit more depth. So I'm good with that. Alright, I think we're good. So uh-oh. Might be time for me to go. I can hear my little girl. No. I guess she is definitely awake, and I guess I did have some holes there. I guess I didn't quite pour deep enough, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. So, well, anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta get a bottle and everything and take it to the room. So, we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.